Oh, this is a topic I've been holding off for, I'm going to say, maybe a while now. I don't even know how long I wanted to hold this off until, but, well, I'm recording this directly after the Late Late Show of Craig Ferguson ended. It was perhaps one of the biggest, I don't know if this will be one of the most watched late night talk show episodes that he's done in a long time, but to be truthful with you, it was kind of balanced at best, but I enjoyed what I got out of it. So in the beginning, we have this opening music video. I can't even remember the song right now. Bang Your Drum, I think it's called. And it literally showed off like a whole bunch of people that Craig had as guests from over the years. So many people put into one clip. It was astounding. But then they show it off where he's like in the main recording room, the studio. You got the drummers, you got the guitarist, the bassist, you got Craig on the microphone, and then out of nowhere they decide to open up the curtain. Then you have this completely Afro-American choir. Now I will tell you right now, if that's not what could be considered as a musical send-off, then I don't know what could be. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Colbert Report / the Colbert Report, that musical send-off was amazing, and, but, in comparison to what Craig had done, I don't know what topped what, whether it be Steve hanging out in his newsroom with everybody, or if it's Craig having a big music video. I don't know how to compare to it. I mean, this was a good week of series finales, if I could put it that way. So then later on, Craig comes in. We have our little monologue. It's basically a little thank you note to everybody. And then we have our final Q&A session. Nothing really important, but we kind of knew that the episode was pre-recorded. Heck, even Craig said it himself. He said, right now I'll probably be in Scotland or something. And Jeff is apparently in a storage room, but what happens to Secretariat? We don't know what happens to Secretariat. That'd be something worth knowing. Later on, we then end up having Jay Leno talking for, I'm going to say, maybe about 19 to 24 minutes. But, for two talk show hosts to finish off a, well, what can I say? It's always lovely to have somebody from a rival station come onto your show for your series finale. Like, to be truthful with you, if I had a rival group, I would not mind having them alongside me, like, if I were ever to do a series finale of something. Whether or not that would happen is well beyond my knowledge. But, it's what you would want to have be a friendly rivalry. Because you do things such as this if you're in a friendly rivalry. It's not like you'd say, no, I don't want you on my show because, well, you're my rival. I can't have you on my show. At least this would be considered, well, it can't even be considered a truce, really. But, I don't even know what Jay Leno's up to right now, speaking of which. Because, he left the Tonight Show. He had the Jay Leno show, then he left that because NBC put him back on the Tonight Show. Then he left because apparently now they want to have Jimmy Fallon on the Tonight Show and Seth Meyers run, what is it, Late Night? I think it's called Late Night. I honestly forget. I haven't watched it in a long time. Carson Daly's still running Last Call. Does anybody even watch his show? I mean, don't get me wrong. It's about a 24-minute show with or without commercials. But that's another story for another time. So, Craig and Jay, they're talking about a whole bunch of things. Oddly enough, Craig's director won't allow him or Craig to swear. Wait, him or Craig? Sorry, him and Jay. He won't allow him and Jay to swear. I mean, of course, I'm sure somewhere out there somebody probably has an uncensored edition of The Late Late Show for Craig Ferguson. But if that ever comes up, show it to me. I would love to see that. Because, I don't mind the whole matters involving, ooh la la, I get up, what's a gonna go, I could go on for days. I use these terms as censorship to whenever I am actually swearing. In fact, I don't even swear anymore. Because of censored swearing, it actually helps me out. I actually haven't said an actual swear in public or in private since January, I'm going to go for, January 6th of 2009. Because that was originally my New Year's resolution during December of 2008. And I pretty much stopped saying, all the MA13 and MA17 rated swears as of 2:46 or 2:48 p.m. on that date, on January 6th, 2009. However, terms that are commonly used in general audiences 10 and up material, for example, the term "damn" I don't even find to be a swear anymore. It's just I'll use the term if I'm angered, or if I'm really upset about something. But you won't hear me use it in a regular conversation or anything else. You obviously won't hear me using any actual swears anywhere else either. And, I have Craig mostly to thank for that, which is why I'm glad that he brought in the whole flag censorship logic. Now I have flags and the respective lines for every Watson term that is ever brought up. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's get back here. Let's get back to the main topic. In the end, unfortunately, we do not get to see the two people that portray Secretariat. I mean, we already know who they are because their names are shown in the credits, but we never actually get to see them on screen or in person. So for the ending, Craig decided to go with the It was all a dream ending. I think it's the series finale ending that was done in Roxanne. I mean, not Roxanne. Ugh. Roseanne. Roseanne Barr's show with Sarah Gilbert and I don't even remember the other people. What's his name from The Big Bang Theory? Keep in mind, I know who I'm talking about. I just don't remember the names off the top of my head right now. But I'm sure that you guys already know what I'm mentioning here. And so Craig wakes up in bed. He actually has beetle-like hair. I forget if he's wearing flannel or something. I mean, I just saw the episode, so so forgive me if my memory is semi-slim or semi-fuzzy. But you would think that, because Craig wakes up a person on his right side, you would think it's a woman. No, it's actually Drew Carey. Yes, Drew Carey is with him in the bed, and Craig's basically I had the weirdest dream. For 10 years, I was, actually, was Craig a talk show host for 10 years? Because ever since I started watching him in 2005, it's always been debated as to when he actually started. Some sources say 2003, others say September 3 of 2005, but I honestly don't know. I can't tell you. But yeah, but I digress. So in the dream, he's like, I had the weirdest dream. I was a TV talk show host for 10 years, and you lost weight, and you were a game show host. And, Drew Carey basically asked him, do I need to lose weight? Craig says no, because he believes that Drew is much more funnier with weight. He wants him to be quote fat and funny, not game show hosty, not thin and game show hosty. And I don't blame him for that thought. Thinking about Drew Carey right now, I don't know where his future in entertainment goes following The Price is Right, because from my history of watching him, because I've been watching him since 1998. Yeah, I was about the age of 3 when I started watching Drew Carey. I watched the Drew Carey show until its series finale. I watched the original ABC run of Whose Line Is It Anyway? And then, he went blank for a while. Sometimes they would show the Drew Carey show in syndication between 2003 and 2005, whether it be on Boston's WB or UPN 38, which is now my TV network 38. And throughout the time, it truly made me question, where does Drew Carey go from here? When I found out that Bob Barker was leaving and going over to The Price is Right, I just didn't know what to say, because I don't know, it just felt a bit out of place. Because don't get me wrong, I love him as a game show host, and I love him in comedy. And I'm glad that he kind of brings that into when he's doing his work on The Price is Right as well. But to be truthful with you, if I had to say, I feel that he probably would do better in, I could say a late night talk show. Because I was kind of expecting, when Craig left, they'd probably get somebody from, I don't know, maybe one of the divisions of Fox, or maybe one of the cable stations, or perhaps Drew Carey, and probably they'd get another host, but I guess CBS just couldn't afford it, so I understand why they did it in the way that they did, and got another man from Britain in order to do all the work. And I'm completely okay with that, so long as it's done right. So, would I ever get tickets to go to the new Late Late Show? Perhaps, but I can't really tell you. I just couldn't tell you. But I definitely would still get tickets to go see The Price is Right with Drew Carey. Even if I'm not a contestant, hey, I'd still go on. I don't mind. I actually would enjoy that. I need to go to... Well, do I want to go to California? I don't mind going to New York, but I don't know if I want to go to California. I don't know, it just doesn't feel like a state for me. In the meanwhile, at the very end, you actually see, the camera zooms into this snow globe. And the snow globe shows a small rock model, a painted rock model of Craig, Jeff Peterson, the skeleton, and the horse Secretariat. Oh, speaking of which, in the dream that Craig was having, I don't know if I said this earlier. I'll have to double check when I'm in the editing room. But apparently Bob Newhart was in the Secretariat costume. I don't know why. He's telling Craig, it's your dream. Hence the reason why the dream scene had opened up in the first place. However, we already knew who was in Secretariat, but that was kind of a nice twist ending, I guess. But would I say it makes a decent twist ending? I don't know. I truly can't tell you. One thing I'm actually shocked about, though, when it comes to this final episode, is more or less the lack of the credits. Because most shows, and I'm sure that they would, even As the World Turns is not guilty of doing this, but when I was watching this, I'm kind of surprised they didn't show the credits. The credits appeared nowhere. When you end a series, at least show the credits that one last time. Don't get me wrong, I know Craig showed the credits in either Wednesday or Thursday's episode, and that's okay. But for the final episode, I feel it is mandatory to show everybody who actually worked on the show. Without that, it just feels out of place. Because, after the Snow Globe, and, Don't Stop Believin' comes on, after a few seconds, it just cuts to black. It's kind of like, when you're in an episode of The Sopranos and you're getting cut off in mid-sentence. At least they give you the leeway of showing off the executive producer. And heck, I've even done it myself for the end of Month of Sega 2. I remember that. Yeah, at the end of Month of Sega 2, on this channel, what I did was, at the end of the Streets of Rage commentary, I basically said, I hope we don't have what happens in The Sopranos, which I hope doesn't cut me off in mid-sentence. And then you see it cut to black, and then executive producer Roya Rockwood shows up. At least if they did that on the Late Late Show, I could say it was a perfect ending. It was a perfect twist ending, so to speak. However, what I have to question, though, is why not have the credits? Why? Why don't you want to show off everybody who worked on the show? Okay, you could. The episode came out at 12:37 and ended at 1:35. That's not how the Late Late Show works over here in Boston. Well, at least in Massachusetts, anyway. Because the way that Massachusetts works, CBS 4 Boston, or WBZ, I don't actually like calling it WBZ, that's why I still call it CBS 4 as of 2006. The biggest problem it's not even a problem, but I've always wondered why they have the Late Show with David Letterman go from 11:35 to 12:37, and then the Late Late Show go from 12:37 to 1:37. Every other episode of the Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson that I have viewed over these past 9 years shows the episode beginning at 12:37 and then ending at 1:37 with the paid advertisement or a rerun of Wheel of Fortune or Jeopardy, assuming that the episode was not played due to sports, come on at 1:40. And that even happened here. Wheel of Fortune did not come on at 1:37, it came on at 1:40. So, there were 2 extra minutes that they could have used to show every single person in the credits. Don't get me wrong. This is just a little attention to detail that makes or breaks any kind of content. But I don't blame I don't blame the editors for not putting it in. I'm probably sure that it might have dealt with time constraints and they probably didn't want to have it scrolled too fast. But it still would have been nice if they did it this way. But then again, I'm snitching and moaning about... I get on about that. We've been dealing with for the past 9 years, so I'm not going to complain. I'm not complaining now. However, some of you might be wondering why I called this episode The Final Days of Craig Ferguson. No, it's not Craig Ferguson's, leaving life or anything. He's still doing stand-up. But it makes me wonder, where does he go from here? Where does anybody that retires from their line of work for about a decade or so go from where they leave off? Because when I think of it, when I think of all the other hosts, Oprah, when she left her show on ABC, she went to basically do things with OWN and Harpo, her other stations and networks. Seinfeld, after 1998, with the finale part 1 and 2, we didn't really know what he was doing, aside from the fact that he was doing stand-up. He was in a few commercials here and there, and then in 2012 he did Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, which is, if season 5 is not already done now, is in its 5th season. And if it's already done, then it's in the 6th season. Jay Leno, he started off doing Doritos commercials, then he went on to the Tonight Show, left because NBC didn't want him there, so they got him in the 10 p.m. slot for the Jay Leno show. He left that to go back to the Tonight Show because NBC wanted him back. I already said this already. But it makes me wonder, will he go back to doing Doritos commercials? We haven't had a Doritos commercial in a long time. Now, I don't like their new logo, to be truthful with you. Don't get me wrong, I love the new cyber laser feel. But what happened to the old logo? I miss the old logo. I mean, I miss the old slogan too. Eat all you want. We'll make more. Jay made that enjoyable. And, you know, one of his best commercials was, so you know when you're in your living room, your parents tell you, go to your room. But we all know what's in your room. TV, radio, video games, posters of hot girls. Whatever happened to those commercials? These are commercials that I miss watching. These are the ones that I grew up with. Half and half, anyway. But this is what I would want to have come back to us if Jay ever goes back to doing anything. But that's another story for another time. Larry King, he used to do Larry King Live on, CNN? And keep in mind, I've been watching Larry King for about 15 years too, because I used to have cable back in 1999 for whatever reason that be. And after he left, he ended up doing Larry King Now, which, if I'm not mistaken, is it a cable series or is it an internet series? I don't even remember. But then, well, let's see, there's also Dave Chappelle. But Dave Chappelle, in his case, he never left his show. Just as he said on The Late Show with David Letterman, and I actually could kind of say the same for my issues involving my own personal backlog. Quote, I'm just 7 years late for work. I mean, could you imagine being so many years late for work that you don't know what exactly to do? Because keep in mind, if Chappelle's Show Season 3 ever gets a reboot, assuming that he does still do that, because I know he's still doing stand-up, but if he ever does go back to doing Chappelle's Show, obviously it will be in HD, but where do we go from his origins? Like will things change? Will things be modified? What new sketches will there be? I mean, because we have had a few kind of reboots of his works, if I could say. Like, we had Affion Crockett's In the Flow with Affion Crockett. That lasted about 6 or 7 episodes on Fox before they decided to pull it down. But, you know, because I grew up with Chappelle's Show, watching In the Flow when it came out was kind of a nice throwback, because I needed that. I needed that kind of humor back into my life, because I mean, this is something I grew up with in the mid-2000s. This is not something that I didn't want to... This is not something I wanted to have leave me. So, you know, for the past 5 years, I have kind of missed having that kind of content. So, wishfully, if he ever gets back to it, it'll be done better than it used to be. And in higher quality, too. I enjoy Dave's work. Some of the best I've seen in a while, anyway. Oh, man. Is there really anybody else I could bring up? Well, let's see. Bill Bill Cosby, I guess I could bring him up because he's had 3 popular shows that I'm aware of: I Spy, The Bill Cosby Show, and The Cosby Show, all taking place in different decades. After that, he didn't really have anything in terms of entertainment for the past 23 years. Because I don't know if the final season of The Cosby Show was 1992 or 1993, but I'm saying 22 years because it's 2014, and I think the series finale of The Cosby Show was like in early 1992. But, since he's been doing stand-up, we haven't really had to worry about there not being as much content from him as the rest of the people that we've seen over the years. But if he were to just stop doing things, we would know right away because we would feel as if there's something missing. And that's something that I would have to question in the long run. Who's another good one that I could probably bring up? I mean, they just keep coming. There's too many people to think of here. I guess I could also bring up Spike Ferguson, too. Spike Ferguson was one of the main workers for Seinfeld. I think he was the executive producer at one time. And he ended up having his own talk show in 2008 or 2009, respectively enough called Talk Show with Spike Ferguson. However, after that, we don't know what happened. Where did he go? Because I don't ever hear about him in the news or anything. I don't ever see him on television or whatever. Heck, there aren't, as far as I'm aware, there aren't any reruns of Talk Show either. Then we have Wanda Sykes. Wanda Sykes. I first found out about Wanda Sykes thanks to the New Adventures of Old Christine, starring Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who also played as Elaine on Seinfeld. And she also had her own talk show on Fox after the New Adventures of Old Christine series finale had happened. But it truly made me wonder where she would go after that, because we've seen her on occasion here and there, but she hasn't made any kind of major appearance in any kind of material that I'm aware of. And it makes me wonder where she'll go as well. So by bringing up all these people, it makes me wonder where Craig will go. Craig will still be doing stand-up. He'll bring Jeff and Secretariat. But will he be doing anything outside of doing stand-up? Will he have another show? Will he have another major supporting role like he did on the Drew Carey show? I don't know I don't know what will happen with that. That's what I meant to say. I don't know where he'll go from here. However, if Craig plays his cards right, I've got a feeling that he will do much better than he has in the past 15 years. Or I could even say the past 18 years, because wasn't the Drew Carey show in 1996? You know what? Since I've already got my web browser open, I'm going to rock the wiki right now. So let's type in the Drew Carey show. Okay, this keyboard is not the sturdiest one. It likes to slip everywhere on my pants. Seriously, the pants I'm wearing are violently slippery. They're not the best pants to wear during this. And I don't even know why I'm wearing them. Oh, please tell me that went in. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's the problem with this E-Machines computer. AMD Athlon 2x2 was not made for web browsers in the modern day. The funny thing is that it still works. That's what I'm shocked about. So let me, it's loading. It's still loading. I swear, this is almost as bad as dial-up. Okay, now the page is up. Moon Over Parma. I missed that theme song. Let's see, so... Oh, really? The series lasted 9 seasons and 233 episodes. My goodness. And apparently from here it says that the series had began sometime in 1995. Please scroll down, computer. Yeah, September 13 of 1995 to September 8 of 2004. Really? Really? Wow. I am kind of shocked that... And it was in HD for the last 3 seasons. How did I not even know that? Oh my goodness. Well, I actually didn't have HD until 2006, so that's kind of fair enough for me to actually not be able to know that. But yeah, it's kind of a shocker. Kind of a major shocker. What was I talking about before I decided to look this up? Oh, that's right. Will he ever go back into having like another show or having another major supporting role in another show? Chances are that is possible. But it's whether or not Craig will be motivated enough to do so will determine how that will happen. I could be thinking something completely different here, because I don't know what he's got planned. But if he has anything in mind that would be like of major benefit to not just himself but the rest of us, I'm not saying the Late Late Show was not a major benefit. It definitely was. It's one of the only reasons why I stay up late at night. Now I gotta watch reruns. But, you know, I learned a lot from this guy over the past 15 or so years. Or 14. I don't even know. My body's 19, dang it. I don't know, I'm just kind of at a loss for words now. Like, is there really anything more for me to say? Could I keep going? Like, who wants me to keep going about with this? Who wants me to keep talking about Craig Ferguson in this way? Because I honestly don't mind. I honestly don't. Because I don't know. I'm just curious. I'm truly curious. Like, what does he plan to do? Does he have something in mind that he's not conjuring up right now, or something that he's not telling us? Because that was brought up in one of the not second to last episodes. Actually, for all we know, I think it was brought up in the episode where Larry King was the guest star. The guest star. The guest star. Yeah, your interviewee is not the guest star. They're just the guest. If they're anything else, then feel free to correct me, but I cannot say much on that. Are we done here? Like, could I go back to doing, I don't know, commentary about other things? Because I actually have the curse commentary to upload, actually. And that will probably, knowing how my computer works, that'll probably take a matter of I don't even know how long. Maybe a few days, assuming it's in 720p. I guess I could finish this up with a little update. Because some of you might be wondering what is actually going on with my material right now. Like, why didn't Month of Disney 2 and Month of Sega 3 come up? This is actually a good time for me to explain that. Ladies and gentle people, when I originally started working on... Month of Disney 2 and Month of Sega 3, it was earlier last year. I started off by recording Legend of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse. And this was before BizHawk got another update. Hence the reason why I actually had to go back to 1.4.1. How old is this? This file... yeah, I started way back, right after I finished World of Illusion, actually. I recorded Legend of Illusion on July 21 of 2013, and I had the file finished by 5:06 a.m. We are over, let's see, August, September, October, November, December. We are over... Wait, no, we're not over. We are almost 16 months later, and I still haven't gotten it up. It's because of a few other issues, too. Like, I've mentioned it before, my hard disk is on its last legs. It's only got about 2 gigs now, and that's thanks to major compression and after deleting a lot of stuff. Ugh. One of the bigger issues, too, is obviously my hardware specs, because over the past year, you guys have been wondering what's been going on with my hardware. Where will we go from here? Why is everything just starting to slow down? Why is production slowing down? This computer can't handle it anymore. And especially since YouTube now has the 60 FPS support, I want to take full advantage of that. Hence the reason why I've been uploading a lot of 720p videos in the first place. Contrary to the fact that none of them, except for the Dick Tracy raw footage that you saw from Month of Disney 2, is actually in pure 60 FPS. Hang on. There, my computer was buzzing, had to deal with that. All the Month of Sega 3 footage is almost ready. The only things that are missing right now are Bare Knuckle 2's single-player mode, which I actually have to do all 4 characters. Ugh. And then there's also the... There's also the co-op run for Snow Bros, Nick and Tom, and I haven't done any of the commentary for anything outside of Bare Knuckle 2's multiplayer mode. So, aside from that, there really is nothing I could do. Oh yeah, let's also not forget Golden Axe's arcade multiplayer mode. That's also a bonus episode. Aside from that, though, there really hasn't really been much of any work done for Month of Sega 3, aside from the raw footage actually all being ready. Or at least being 87% ready. But one guarantee is, the second I'm able to get Gabriel and Troy for any material, and I strictly say both of them because I did reserve both of them for the Dick Tracy commentary in the first place, Month of Disney 2 will be worked on full force, and then that will be that marathon will be the last thing I ever do on this computer. Because I intend to switch to a newer computer with better hardware, more than likely an Intel Xeon E7 processor with, I'm going to say maybe about 1024 gigabytes of RAM. Now, you know what, let's make it 2 processors and 2 motherboards. Yeah, I want to get these enterprise level $60,000 computers, with discounts obviously from Dell. The Dell Precision T7610. I think some of you have probably heard of this. And that's what I want to have dealt with come the end of this year. I mean, not this year, next year. Because 2015 is pretty much where things will start really picking up here. And I want to make sure that we have everything that we need in order to be able to do everything. Because I'll go back to doing things by my lonesome if I have to. But so long as I have these issues, I don't know where I can go from here. I'm stuck in a rut. I'm literally a wreck. If you were to talk with me right now and ask, hey, what are you doing right now? I'm trying to work on a whole bunch of things right now. I've got an 8-year backlog. I have a horrible 8-year backlog. It goes all the way back to 2006, back to my days in Boston. So much artwork, so many projects, so much videos. There's just so much to even get done. I can't take it. I'm sure that this is actually why Craig left the show. He was probably overwhelmed because he was both doing the show and he was doing stand-up, and he probably didn't have a lot of leeway in between to do other things. And I wouldn't blame him if that was the reason why he left in the first place. But back to me. You can tell that this will be a difficult time. The end of this year will be a difficult time, and this isn't even the end of it. I still have the Roya Remembers 2014 video, Roya Talk Episode 5, to work on. And that gets released on the 31st. I do the commentary on the 30th. And I gotta conjure the... wait. I don't even think I could do... No, I'll be able to do it. Because that'll be uploaded to Mediafire. I'm not uploading that by normal means to YouTube. It's just too long. Because that'll be a 3-hour commentary, or maybe 10 hours, depending on how much I actually have to talk about. Because this year was ducked up in so many ways. But that's another story for another time. As you can tell, I'm overwhelmed right now. I have to divide up the work, but nobody wants to take advantage. Nobody wants to actually help me out. I've been running this group of over 12,000 for how many years now? Royaman started out in 1999, when I was just 4 years old. I started doing a whole bunch of artwork and whatnot at that age. And I also listened to a lot of music at that time, and from there, that's what caused me to think of, hey, why don't I create an entertainment group? So I got 5 other people, and we basically became the Royan Round Table. And we would basically have these conversations and what to do. We ended up working on music, art, and games as early as 2001, and no later than 2003. Royameadow did not have its official name until 2010. Back then, it was just the Table of Six and Team Jewel, who was our rival at the time. The artist known as Crowsmore, however, I don't think he was put in a physical retirement, but he somehow went missing. And what ended up happening was I ended up obtaining all of his works, which means that's the reason why the group became Royameadow and Company in 2012. But as early as December 23 of 2011, to be more precise, or was it December 22? What was the last day of school that day? I gotta double check that. Please forgive me for actually having to do this in the middle of a commentary. This is something, since this is an update video, I might as well do that. So it was either December 20 or December 23 where this happened. Either way, since then I've picked up a lot of different divisions. I picked up Planet Shadya. I picked up Super TNT 94, Gemini Twilight 1 and 2, Zoid's Maniac, also known as Mecha Man Dan, K10 Omega, which is run by one of the top Generation 3 Variety members, Khalil, good man. I've also picked up the Hodgepodge Theory, Chaotic Bun, and a whole bunch of other channels that I could mention right now, but I will mention it in another video when I'm actually promoting these guys in full. But that's another story for another time. I'm actually kind of surprised I'm even talking about my backstory here, because, this group's been all over the place. By the time that it was 2007, and I actually had to leave for Lynn because, Aganaba happened, we had well over 4,000 members. And keep in mind, this is in an offline community. An offline community that was very close to the public. It was also one of the reasons why my run in Rachel's Challenge for over 10 years was good too. and that's something that will be talked about later on. Just not now, unless if you want to check the video that I had originally done for that. It's a few videos down. You'll notice it's a purple wallpaper, and you see Rachel Scott on the right hand side. You see the Rachel's Challenge logo with the it's in the Friends font. You know the font from Friends. You know, I'll be there for you. I'm in no mood to sing right now. Forgive me if it sounds horrible. So yeah, when I moved to Lynn, obviously the group had the original group had to disband. So I made Neo Generation 1, made a new group out of that, made 2 new divisions in 2009. Thanks to that, Royameadow and Co, run by Ashley and Gabriel respectively, of the Neo Generation 1 unit. They are my 2 co-head administrators of Neo Gen 1, and officially the entirety of Gen 1, because anybody from before September 4th, 2007 is now considered an old B member, because an old B member is basically anybody I knew before I started using internet full time, but that's another story for another time. 2009 we had Generation 2, that's when I picked up Doug Young II to Feed Me Babies, Bronze Cow Fluid, Oxidome, Doug Riss, Hot Diggity Doug, Diggity Doug Riss. The list just keeps going on and on. Please, I don't want to have to say all the names. Kelsey Evans of Kelsey Face 614, Luna Marie, and then of course Amber and Shadia of Gemini Twilight 1 and 2 and Planet Shadia, respectfully. That generation went on from September 2 of 2009. Well, no, not September 2 of 2009. That was when I started school. July 1 of 2009 was when Generation 2 started, and that ended in June 30 of 2013. There are actually 7 co-head administrators in Generation 2, but 2 of them are not mentioned for reasons I will explain at a better time. Then Generation 3 actually began during Generation 2, and that's how Generation 4 will be during Generation 3. That's another story for another time. But during late Generation 2, that's when I picked up, Troy of Super TNT 94, Dan Sylvia II of Zoids Maniac and Mecha Man Dan, and of course Kayla Lawson of what I refer to as KLLS. And those 3 currently run Generation 3 in full. They obviously are doing their own things right now, but the fact that I was able to pick them up at a very early time, October 2 of 2012, I'm actually kind of fortunate that I did at the time, or else Royameadow and Company would have been, well, I would have to say physically retired, or digitally retired even. Heck, you wouldn't even be listening to this commentary right now if the group was disbanded in 2012, because I was kind of worried that when I went to classical nothing would go my way with this, but somehow it has. But because of all that I've had to deal with, I just don't know if I can handle it anymore, because there's just so much to do. There's just so much to do, and my resources are limited. I swear, I don't even know where I'm going to be going, because you can see I'm stuttering all over the ducking place right now. This content means a lot to me, and I don't want to, you the fans enjoy what I do, at least in part. I don't want to have to break down and just stop doing things entirely. So, what's next? Like, do I have to make, a GoFundMe or a Kickstarter project and basically say, like, hey, this is my group. These are all the main people that work in this group. What we would probably need is, maybe $100 million just to basically, have a residence to be able to have the entire group live in. Get the $60,000 to $70,000 computers from Dell, because I would be getting both a desktop and a laptop, which would be $60,000 to $70,000 before discounts, obviously. But I always have to make that estimate in the event that discounts don't exist. Maybe a few extra high-level devices as well to go with that. So that would pretty much be about, I don't know, maybe $125,000 per person on that. We would obviously fund our own food or whatever. We would also fund for our own clothing and everything else. But the residence would be run completely on our own power source. We'd have our own power generators, at least 4 to 10. We would have solar powering. We would install that ourselves. There's just so much I already have planned for this group that, unfortunately, it's as if I feel that I don't know, maybe incompetence played as a factor. Maybe that's why things didn't go in the way that I intended them to, at least within the past 5 years. Because I'm glad that Generation 2 improved by the end. But, with Generation 3, with my computer being on its last legs and with my major 8-year backlog and, people stuck in the abyss not knowing what the duck they're doing themselves, I just don't know where to continue from here. I mean, you guys can comment here. You guys can make some recommendations. But we're all in a rut here. We don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. At least not in full. I don't know. Give me a sign that maybe something majorly beneficial will happen. I can't tell you. But I feel that somehow, some way, somebody out there, somewhere, and at some point in time, will listen to this commentary in full and understand, these people are good people. They need the best. They deserve the best. And somehow, some way, they will get it. That's been my mentality for all these years. For the past 15 years, I've run Royameadow and Co. I just don't know, though. You'll still see things. You'll still see me talking about other topics. You'll see the occasional remixes. Oh, speaking of which, I actually have to do some remixes, too. But at this point in time, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where we're going. I don't know what's planned. I don't know what's next. But wishfully, as Scorpio, Scorpio's phase in Saturn is over on December 23, and that's when I'm uploading the Curse commentary, because Curse turns 25. Wishfully, as Saturn goes into Sagittarius, I want there to be, major things changing, not just in, my life and the life of my entire crew, but the lives of all of us. I want better things to happen. I want more prosperity for all of us. I want more love. That's what we barely ever get nowadays. We barely ever get any love. I made this commentary because I felt that maybe, I don't know, because this entire night has been an odd one. Because I felt on edge. I don't know what I wanted. I didn't know how I wanted to feel. I even asked for a hug from anybody, really. I'll take a hug from anybody. You want to hug me? I'll get you. You want a hug? I'll give you a hug, because I kind of need it right now. I kind of need the compassion. I need the sympathy. I don't know. I guess everything's just starting to get to me now. I think that's actually the reason why I started to make this commentary in the first place. I already said that, didn't I? I'm sorry. I'm just... this is painful. This truly is painful. But I think for now, I'll end it here. My recorder actually only has about 11 minutes and 56 seconds at the time of this left, so I won't keep you guys for long, but at least I got the main topics out of the way. Craig Ferguson, wherever you are, I hope you are enjoying yourself. Whatever you do next, I will make sure to watch it, even if it's bad. Heck, you never make bad things. You always make good things. I actually like that you do improvisation. You know, you're one of the reasons why improv is still good. Heck, I probably wouldn't be doing improv still had it not been for you. And for those of you who have watched this commentary in full, listening to my issue, then thank you. I can't thank you enough because you know I've run a hard time. I've run a decent 15 years doing artwork, working on music, working on games that have yet to be released, working on video, making news articles, talking about turkeys, talking about romance, interviewing people for all the right reasons, being the announcer over a volleyball game. There's just so many things. Thousands of things I've done over these years. And the fact that, you know, this channel, this newer channel for Royameadow and Company that was made on October 23 of 2010, you know, it might only have about 43 or 44,000 views, including my deleted content and private content, and only about 96 active subscribers. I actually have over 100 at this point. I know that for a fact. It's somewhat of a milestone, but even though it's not major, it's still my milestone. It's still something I appreciate. I just wish that more could be done. I just wish that more could get completed. I'm not on my last legs. I'll tell you that. My adventure's never over. And I don't think it ever will be. This is just another fork in the road. I still have to figure out where to go. Do I go left? Do I go right? Do I go northeast? Do I go northwest? Or do I go straight ahead? Do I go straight north? Whatever path I choose, I know it'll be the right one. Not just for me, but for all of us. I just don't know what that path will be. But, you know, for now, I'll get the rest of the stuff done. I'll edit up the cursed commentary right after uploading this video in full, right after making sure it's published. I really don't like having to process long videos like this. And, well, I guess I'll see you for the point where I release Roya Remembers 2015. I mean, 14. Duck. 2015. Yeah, we're not even 2015. Oh, I'm from the future. Oh, no, I'm not from the future. For all we know, I might be from the future. Who knows? See, I can even make myself smile at the end of a commentary, even if I've been feeling bad throughout it all. Either way, I'm going to end it now. Thanks for listening. I will see you in 3 days for Curse, and I'll see you in about 11 days for Roya Talk Episode 5, Roya Remembers 2014. I gotta stop stuttering there. Either way, have a good day or night or afternoon, evening, late night, after dark, whenever the duck you watch this video. This keeps me going, and I'm glad it does. Ending now.